Greetings, Earthlings and humans and whoever else you got, wherever you come from. I'm glad you're here, especially animals, the highest form of intelligent beings on this planet, because they don't need to bullshit themselves like humans do in order to feel the joy of living. Welcome to the Roseanne Barr podcast.
Oh, you see, my patience is growing thin.
Well, we have a banger of a show today, as we do all the time. You know, I love to speak to geniuses, and I have spoken to so many geniuses, encyclopedias of knowledge on 2 feet. But, you know, I extra love it when it's a girl genius. And is that complimentary enough? Female genius. I just love it. And I have a big one today. She has her own podcast, The Mel K Show. It's where all podcasts are found. She's a genius. She knows everything about everything.
It's true.
Once you wind her up, you can never, ever get her to stop just spewing facts about everything. It's really an amazing thing to behold, and I'm glad she's with me today. Mel K. Hi, Mel K.
Hi, Roseanne.
We're happy to have you.
Oh, I'm happy to be with
I have you
you.
back, actually.
Have
She's
you?
been on
Yeah,
before.
Yeah, and I've been on your show, and so has Jake.
Yes,
Yeah,
you
that's
have.
right. That's the only time I've
And
ever invited.
we've been also all over the place together, and finally we're catching up in
We
the
got a
middle of
lot
the.
to catch up on, don't we?
Yes, we do.
And isn't it great that everything we'll be saying here today is nothing that will be heard anywhere in the media on Earth?
Right. Well, there is no media anymore.
That's the
It's
truth, right?
ridiculous.
It's just wall-to-wall bullshit.
It's an operation. It's a psychological operation at this point. It's very embarrassing, and frankly, I don't know how these people live with themselves. Not telling people the truth to prepare for their own future, their own lives. They don't serve a purpose anymore, except for to push fear and weakness and toxic crud. You know?
And to try to divide the American people even further,
Yeah.
as far as they can.
Yeah.
You know, for what is it, bot farming and clickbait? Is that what it is, Jake?
I mean, a lot of times it is just for ad dollars, but I think it's far more sinister than
Oh,
that.
yeah, particularly MSNBC, because a lot of those people, I believe, you know, I've talked to a couple CIA people because I'm writing a book that's kind of about the origins of CIA, and I'm pretty convinced that MSNBC is an intelligence operation against us. I mean, I have no doubt. People like Nicole Wallace, you know, she was the George W. Bush, like, spokesperson during Iraq. And then she was the one that was defending rendition and torture. And now somehow she's the voice of reason on MSNBC. Or that Zig Brzezinski's daughter is supposedly a journalist. I mean, and then, of course, when all the people that were involved in Russiagate ended up being hired as consultants.
On MSN.
Not even hiding it. That John Brennan has a deal. as
The
a
people that
consultant.
overthrew our government through, you know, what's the word?
FISA courts?
Yeah,
Corrupt.
FISA courts, fake.
Oh,
You know,
Yeah.
I can't think of the word when it's fake.
Propaganda?
No, the word, it starts with C. My mind doesn't work anymore.
Well,
it's
we know-
okay.
We know what you're
You
saying.
know,
Cognitive dissonance?
No, you know, when it's fake.
It's fake is fine. Just
Okay,
use
fake.
fake. It's not just MSNDNC.
No, but
as
I
Trump
mean,
calls
they
it, right?
overthrew the government of the Constitutional Republic of the United States of America with fake documents that weren't even checked
No.
in any way, all the way up and signed off by Obama
Oh, yeah. You mean the
Fake.
ICA, the fake ICA?
Yes,
Yeah,
and to
intelligence
frame-
briefings.
to
yeah.
frame a sitting president.
Yeah.
And then they're hired as, you know, consultants on the
Media.
news,
Right.
which is the people's airwaves. So hired to lie about everything
For years.
at taxpayers' expense to be lied to. And now they're like, look at Trump turning his guns on all his enemies. You mean America's enemies?
Right. Well, that's the problem. That's the psyop that they've had going on this whole time. They want everyone just to look at Trump
Right.
as if it's not us that were betrayed.
Right.
It is the people of the United States of America, when they prove the grand conspiracy, that were the victims. It wasn't Trump was the victim in many, many ways,
Right.
but he could handle it, and I believe he knew what was coming for him. It was we the people of the United States
They
that they
wiped their
betrayed.
asses with our votes
Oh, yeah,
and
for
threw them
for
down the
decades now.
toilet.
Yeah, I mean, for decades, but the truth of the matter is that we all know now, you guys know, is that since the murder of JFK, basically the intelligence agencies have all promoted people that were involved in cover-ups for reasons of national security that were crimes against we the people of the United States. So every one of these events, be it Oklahoma City and Merrick Garland or the Enron thing, and you got Weissman and Wray, you got all these people that get promoted because they're willing to cover up crimes of the people before them.
Yeah, well, let's go to the big cover-up, the JFK assassination. Do we know anything now, 180 years later, than we did at the time? We haven't learned one thing, have we?
Well, I mean, because I'm working on a book about the Dulles brothers, I mean, it's very clear to
Bingo.
me that the goal, he was not going along with the plan. And the plan was set before the end of World War II, and he came in there and he didn't want anything to do with the direction they were going. Particularly, I believe, not just the fake, manipulated idea of the Cold War, but he also had different plans for Africa. He had different. He wanted to not have proliferation of nuclear weapons.
Right.
He was the enemy of the military-industrial complex.
Yes, he
basically,
was.
which is the partner of the international banking cartel. So
They're
when
the same thing.
yes,
Two different
1,000%,
sides of the coin.
1,000% with what I'm learning right now, and it's the book about the one that I like the best about this is The Devil's Chessboard, that really talks about the Dulles brothers and the creation of basically the selling out of our country in the final years of World War II. While we're celebrating that our boys are coming home, they had already set up the international, supranational, what I call now the parent company running planet Earth. They had set it up before the end of World War II. And I think that
They set it up before the beginning of World War II
oh,
by the Bank of International Settlements, who
right.
financed Hitler and then paid for both sides of every war, as they
Still
always
to this
did.
day.
To this day.
Yes, and the craziest part, a lot of people don't know, is that while the Dulles brothers were setting this all up, because then, first of all, people have to know that the Dulles brothers were Wall Street lawyers. So
Yeah, I don't know much about them.
okay, so they're Wall Street lawyers from Sullivan and Cromwell, and they represented a lot of the multinational firms that had one foot in Germany and one foot in America. So a lot of people don't know that there was a lot of
They're Swiss.
coordination between IG Farben and Standard Oil. And we're talking World War I, World War II. Standard Oil is across
Talks about
the
this every week.
Rockefellers.
Yep.
And I don't believe that the military-industrial complex has ever dislodged from that, IG Farben being the pharmaceutical side. And, 100 people from IG Farben were, charged with crimes against humanity, the damage and what they were doing. And also, IG Farben had their own Auschwitz. That was IG Auschwitz. And they worked 60,000 people to death making rubber.
I recently opened up about somebody close to me who experienced post-COVID vax side effects. I did it in an interview, and it is hard to talk about. But, well, she got the jab, and then she got the boosters, and after that, she was never the same. She told me that she felt like her body was on fire from the inside, burning, and she couldn't eat, and she was exhausted all the time and in pain, and no one in the medical system had any answers for her. So I've seen firsthand how isolating and scary that can be, which is why I want to tell you about the wellness company's Ultimate Spike Detox. Developed by Dr. Peter McCullough, this doctor-formulated blend is designed to help your body clear spike protein.
Good.
While also supporting your immune system, heart, and brain. It combines 7 natural ingredients, nattokinase, nattokinase, to help break down spike protein, bromelain to support immune health, and turmeric with black pepper to reduce inflammation and repair your cells. If you or someone you love is still suffering, don't wait. Go to twc.health/RB and use code RB for 10% off plus free shipping.
and they were charged, including the head of IG Farben. But the craziest part is that then Dulles and this guy McCloy went in and got a lot of these people out and brought them here. You know, I've read Annie Jacobson's Operation Paperclip is one of the most disturbing books you could
Yeah.
ever read. But it looks like this was a long game. It was a long game. I think it was planned in 44. They got together the multinational corporations that we now know as the Global Public-Private Partnership. They got together the international, supranational. It was the beginning of supranational things was the BIS. That was the
Yes.
first one. And they were done by treaties. So these treaties protected them from government and politics in their minds.
Yes, they're above all that.
Right. So it was a Nazi and a City of London, two lawyers, basically. The Norman from the Bank of England and Schatz, I think his name's Scherf, maybe. He was the Reich Bank, the
Sure,
Nazi.
it became Bush.
Yes, exactly. Oh, but people don't even know.
Is that true?
Yes, Bush,
Yes.
Prescott Bush.
Yeah.
He was implicated for his banking with 3 Nazis.
I knew
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this goes back. But Prescott, but here's the thing. The Dulles brothers were on the side of the Nazis.
Yes.
They were friends with them.
Right.
They liked them.
They financed them.
Right. I mean, beyond financing them, the truth is, and then what happened? Dulles wrote basically with a writer from The Economist the entire outline for the BIS, which is the model that they've gotten away with. And then in 1945, they put in the International Organization Immunity Act of 1945 that is still in place to this day.
In our country?
Yeah, all over the world,
Globally, yeah.
everywhere.
Okay.
And it's the Bank of International Settlements and 63 banks under it, which includes our Federal Reserve and the bank that we paid for in the EU. And then the United Nations and 76 organizations under the United Nations to this day. They have full immunity. You cannot audit, investigate, legal action. Their whole families are all covered too. And that's like how we've seen all these years of our lives when, diplomatic immunity. Well, all these people have that.
Yeah.
And so people wonder how this has been in place the whole time. Well, they purposely did it through treaty. So treaty has to be something that is withdrawn from and, that's frowned upon. But frankly, that's how this happened to America and the world. And
And what happened is the Germans lost the war, but the Nazis won and
absolutely.
came over and took over pretty much all the institutions of America.
Well, frankly, John Foster Dulles became the Secretary of State, and Allen Dulles he wrote all the stuff to create the CIA and the national security. But I'm pretty sure that the CIA and all of that has always been for the banks, the Bank of International Settlements. It was all came up with the OSS. Dulles and his brother were in Switzerland, in Bern, Switzerland, during the war, and no finance stopped. Okay, so
Right.
while the war's being fought, the money is coming in, and it's coming in. We're talking 60 million people had their lives plundered. They stole all the banks. They stole all the money. Czechoslovakia, everything from them, and it's being transferred to the Bank of International Settlements under the guise of what it was supposedly for after World War I. It was supposed to be where the Germans paid reparations.
Oh, okay. That's what formed the BIS.
Yes, the Bank of International Settlements.
Like an escrow bank.
Exactly.
Okay.
And it held all the gold at that time. So what was happening, apparently, from what I can tell here, is that basically there was 2 things in America: the Dawes Plan and the Young Plan for reparations. These are
Okay.
very complicated things.
To
But-
Germany?
Yeah, no, Germany to Europe.
Okay.
So Germany owed the Allies, supposedly. Well, what really was happening was that the head of the German bank, the Schreff guy, he made all the rules. So basically, they would say, "We're going to pay our reparations to the Bank of International Settlements, and then we'll take it off the balance sheet here." I mean, it was all this very funny banking that and then once Hitler came into power, obviously by design, they just ripped it up. There was no more reparations at that
Oh,
point.
the reparations were for World War I.
Right.
Oh, okay.
So while Hitler's getting financed, because Germany was not supposed to rebuild,
Right. That was
okay?
right.
And it was that
After World War One,
right.
Right.
what was supposed to happen?
They were supposed to pay reparations to the world. And then at that point, it was that once they were doing that, the Versailles Treaty, which Hitler and all them hated, but they signed it anyway. And then they could open up for business again. Well, they never closed for business, first
Right.
of all. And then, second of all, what a lot of people don't get is that these, including JP Morgan, but also Standard Oil and GE and a lot of American companies, Ford, all these companies had subsidiaries in Nazi Germany
Yes.
Yep.
that continued. And I believe JP Morgan sent like $100 million and in between when they're not supposed to be rebuilding. And they were rebuilding their military. And all these people were aware of that. And that's where a lot of it comes in. And to me, honestly, the level to which the Wall Street was complicit in the rise of Hitler is very disturbing because a lot of them were on his side. You know, they really were, and particularly the Dulles brothers. And when I say on their side, they didn't really care about who was, what was going
Well, they
on.
just saw the money. I
Right.
mean, you go and rape and plunder a country or two. Hey, that's a lot of big money.
Yeah, and then
Tax-free?
all that money.
They don't have any morals.
No, and all that money pouring in was to rebuild Germany. So Germany went down. Remember the way that Hitler rose, as always, which is happening with the Democrat Socialists of America here now. There's, of course, the National Socialist Workers' Party of Germany. I think we don't have a good definition of what the Nazis were because it's all been
Right.
bullshit.
Right.
Well, they've tried to erase it.
Well, or change it into something else.
Or use it for leverage to attack an opponent. Yeah.
Right, when they don't even know any of the history at all. But frankly, there was a ton of unemployment. There was, food shortages, all this stuff going on while the money was still flowing. But then they hired everyone that didn't have a job, basically. They got rid of unemployment by making them build weapons and build, these like huge monuments to the Nazis. I mean, they put them to work to do that.
Mhm.
And Nazi Germany made billions of dollars during the World War II. And at some point in 1944, they knew that they had to surrender. Hitler had to surrender. And they made a plan, I believe, and I'll prove it in my book, to funnel all of the money out of the Reich Bank into the Bank of International Settlements in Switzerland, and then through Italy and Argentina and other places into America. And they set up a lot of companies. There were a lot of complicit companies in America already that had subsidiaries in Germany. Germany couldn't take money out of the country as part of the deal, so they were sending it to Switzerland and then out. And what we're going to find out, as I've told you, Chuck Grassley is still investigating where all the money went after World War II, the rat lines right now, because once Millet got into office, he opened, I believe there were hundreds of thousands of documents about the Nazis that came through Argentina. And don't forget that last pope, he was running the church, the Catholic Church in Argentina.
And the banks.
When all of the Nazis were coming through. But it turns out they didn't just, McCloy and Dulles and them, they also set up West Germany. So after that, West Germany was a hub for former Nazis. And
I didn't know that.
yeah. And then, and so the other thing that happened, so we know about Operation Paperclip. We know Mengele came here, and we know that some of the worst people went to the Jet Propulsion Lab in
Mhm.
California,
Yep.
went to NASA, obviously. But what a lot of people don't know, and I think is going to come out of the 2026 report that Grassley is promising, is that there weren't like 1,800. There were thousands.
Yeah.
And they went into all of the institutions as well. And
They went into Penn State.
yeah, and they also went into advertising
Mhm.
because you go back to Bernays, you go back to Goebbels.
That's right.
They went into psychiatry.
Yes, they did.
They went into, I believe, the founding of DARPA and all of this advanced mind control and manipulation and all of that.
And they brought with them all of the, experiments they had done on Jews.
1,000%. So that's really what I think is the lie in there, is that the psychological operations that we've been under since the murder of JFK were all basically Nazi born experiments. Like when you read
Well, that's what MK Ultra is.
I know.
It's or German Nazi mind control on the population.
Yeah.
And all of them, all of the presidents and everybody who served as a representative of the people tightened that screw.
Yeah.
They tightened that noose for decades.
And this Alan Dulles, I'm telling you, this guy,
The worst.
they have the fact that they have a airport and other things named after these brothers
Dulles Internet.
that sold out our country. When they got back from World War II, the supranational groups were running everything.
Man.
And I'm in a place, they shifted because actually Russia was on our side.
Yeah.
And they realized how profitable war was,
Mhm.
particularly Reconstruction
Mhm.
after war.
Yep.
Oh,
So,
yeah, blow it up, build it
The
back,
Halliburton-
blow it up
Halliburton
again,
method.
build
Yeah.
it back.
so the Dulles,
Halliburton.
they were very much behind that. They turned on Stalin. Stalin was on their side.
Yeah.
And then they created the Cold War to hunt communism, like hunting terrorism. There is no defined enemy. So you can say it's anywhere.
Yeah.
Like, we went in to save Vietnam from communism. We went to save here from communism. I mean, wherever they wanted to use it. Meanwhile, they're funneling them into our country on purpose. And I fully believe that the death certificate for the United States of America was signed before the end of World War II, because we paid the United States taxpayers, and this is what I'm going to prove in my book, paid for the entire Cold War,
Yeah.
the entire war on terror, and the entire globalist experiment that started in the 70s, but then really kicked off with Bill Clinton in the 90s with climate change, the Rio Conference, the Kyoto Treaty. And frankly, I think that they planned World War III.
What about Obama? He brought the whole jihadi thing into it for him.
Yeah, by design. I mean, if you look into Obama's history, particularly both fathers were CIA operatives of some sort.
And grandparents and
right.
mother.
The mother was but also there was a color revolution and overthrow in Indonesia where Saturo was. And Obama and his mom went there. And they were there during that color revolution, that overthrow. Saturo was there with the wife, Obama's mom, and Obama. He went to school there. She taught there and worked at the embassy. And that was a CIA coup.
Yeah.
I mean, all of these things are CIA coups.
The one in Kenya, the one in
All over,
Egypt,
everywhere.
the one in Iran, all of them. They're
Everywhere.
the same. They've got,
Yeah.
but that is communism. So, I mean, if America had really fought communism, which I guess it didn't want to do.
No.
Because, let's talk about how close is Nazism to communism. It's pretty damn close, ain't it?
Well, the thing about it is that the Nazis claim that they were fighting communists.
Right. But,
right?
But
Okay.
they're not.
But it's the definitions of words that are
Right.
manipulated.
Right.
Because, of course, the entire Cold War was because we were fighting communists. Meanwhile, the Frankfurt School settles in at Columbia University,
Right.
which has always been a bastion for this stuff.
Yeah.
And everyone knows it. Chicago, hotbed for communism.
Total.
And don't forget, here's the other crazy part about the Bank of International Settlements. So the U.S. rejected being a part of it at first. So 3 banks ended up being the U.S. representatives at the Bank of International Settlements. And it was J.P. Morgan and then I believe the National Bank of New York and Chicago.
Of course.
And they were the partners. So when we always say, "Oh, the Chicago way," it's not a surprise. It was planned that way. That's why the hotbed of the Weather Underground, of Franklin
Right.
Marshall Davis, of Saul Alinsky, it's all Chicago. 'Cause
Right.
that's where
absolutely.
their hubs were.
That's where I say the head of Hamas is, too.
Oh, I mean, we don't even know who the head of Hamas is. All I know is that this entire war that's been going on in Israel has nothing to do with Jews or the Palestinians or how many have die of either. Because I frankly think the people that are paying for both sides couldn't care less. The more people that die in these areas, the better for reconstruction. And that
I agree.
because the financial system that they built in World War II, they knew it was going to fail. So to me, I think that we paid for that entire Marshall Plan, right?
Right.
Total fraud.
Total
That
fraud.
built the EU. We paid, the US taxpayers paid for the EU. We paid for the euro. We paid for all of this whole experiment. And now it is turning into the Fourth Reich. And people get crazy when I say that, but I am telling you, because the thing is, and this is the craziest part about the Islamists and the commies and the and the socialists and all of them, is that both communism and Islam are totalitarian.
Right.
Mhm.
They can't coexist
No,
No.
they can't.
ever.
No.
So right now they're using each other, but frankly, I believe that the international banking cartel that actually runs the world is using both of them.
Of course.
Yeah.
And that's what people cannot see. They also
No, they can't see that the target is America, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. The target's America, but not because it's America, but because of our Constitution, our Bill of Rights, and our founding documents, everything that the Federalist Papers, all of that. That is the opposite of what those that want a totalitarian, one world, technocratic order.
Track and trace.
Yeah, I mean, this is all, and then the hardest part is people say, "Well, Trump came in and now he's doing the World Economic Forum plan and this and that." Well, the truth is, it was already built. I mean, it's been built for a very long time. Any of the technology we're seeing now, what I'm learning, has been around for at least 20 years.
Yeah.
So they're far ahead. They only put out to the people what they want us to know.
Right.
And like I said, I firmly believe that DARPA and In-Q-Tel and the CIA and all of this, when you look into the founding of the CIA and the Dulles and then West Germany and all of this, the CIA, I'm pretty sure, is one and the same to a certain extent with both MI6
Oh,
and
MI6 runs the
Mossad.
show.
Yeah, I
Right,
think
and
all
Mossad.
three of them are
And we did
basically
too.
one and the
And
same.
all Five Eyes, everything. The cost of everything is still out of control, and many of us are relying on credit cards to cover essentials. If the debt is piling up, you are not alone. Americans collectively owe over $1 trillion in credit card debt. You might have considered reaching out to my friends at American Financing, but hesitated because you don't want to give up your low mortgage rate. Well, there's good news. They've created the Smart Equity Loan, a solution designed to help you take control of your finances without touching your current mortgage. Unlike a HELOC, which can have varied interest rates, the Smart Equity Loan offers a fixed rate. That means one predictable monthly payment giving you peace of mind. This loan allows you to leverage the equity in your home to pay off high-interest debt, free up your cash flow, and keep your existing low mortgage rate intact. It only takes 10 minutes to get started, with no upfront or hidden fees. Call American Financing today and start saving now. 866-890-8585. That's 866-890-8585. Or AmericanFinancing.net/Roseanne.
We
And
think that too.
they're not protecting any nation.
No,
No.
they're not.
This is what I believe, that whole thing that happened after
Mhm.
World War II was really about, and Rockefeller writes about it in his book. And then when you bring in Standard Oil,
That's it.
and then you
It's the international uh,
supranational,
supranational empire of Standard Oil.
1,000%, and not just Standard Oil, it's all of those bankers
Yeah.
it was bankers and lawyers that
Right.
created this.
Yes.
Wall Street lawyers, Wall Street, and also City of London
Yeah.
lawyers and bankers, but it was all lawyers and bankers.
Yeah.
And when they say that it's the Jews, no. Let me tell you something. They kicked out the one Jew in the Bank of International Settlements as soon as the Nazis came. And it was more these lawyers that were creating this.
Those are Jews, though, the lawyers, right?
No.
Oh, wow.
It was the Dulles
I didn't know there
brothers
were other
from
kinds.
Sullivan and Cromwell were definitely involved. And
Well,
then
they're English bakers, let's just
right,
be
right,
real.
right.
They're the crown bankers.
Well, it's
It's
France.
everything about the crown and their royalty.
Well, it was France. I mean, the bankers that were most involved in this were the Warburgs.
Right. Well, that's
They were the ones that were most involved. And then of course the crown
It's
and the city of
royals.
London. Yeah, I know. This is what we're still dealing with.
So this is just a multinational corporation that just does nation building for investment purposes? Is
Yeah.
what-
yeah, to get richer.
War
They
for
don't care.
profit.
They
Yeah,
don't care how
not
many people
surprised.
die.
No, the more the better.
Like
There's no
Richard
religious...
Pryor said,
Oh, sorry.
a lot of people have to die. They don't think twice. It's like, well, I have no place to ride my horsey.
I know, exactly, exactly. And what's so crazy is that they are marching straight to World War III right now
That's what
by
they
any
want.
means
Right,
necessary
by any means necessary.
to consolidate after, like they did World War I and World War II. These World War I and World War II were about the consolidation of power and money after. I mean, it's just, if you look
That's
at
all
what
there
happened,
is.
and that is what is going on now. Now, when people say Trump's involved in this, which I don't think that that's true at all. I think he's trying to dismantle it.
I do too.
But at the same time, people have to look at the same day that Trump was finally, since 2016, allowed to not only meet with Putin in public and have détente in the Arctic, which we should have been coordinating and cooperating with Russia for the last 50 years in the Arctic and in everything else.
Right.
Russia is not, I don't think Russia has basically been our enemy. It's been these Cold War for profit psychos that run the world, that we always need an enemy. And that Brzezinski hated Russia, and because he was from Poland. Like it's like the vendettas have nothing to do with the people.
Right.
They're not our, but what is
It's gangs, because you look at where the royals set up the fake royals all over the place.
Yes, as the
And it's
Windsors.
just gangs. It's like, mafia distribution channels.
Yeah, well,
Who
it is a
controls
mafia.
it?
It's
Yeah.
a world mafia. Well, they described, what's interesting is in 1984, Orwell's 1984, he describes the state. First of all, they make fun of the Nazis and Mao as being kind of weak when they're talking about the state in 1984. And basically what they're saying is that, what he's saying is that there's no, and I think he was pointing this out, because by the end,
Are you talking about Orwell?
yeah,
Uh-huh.
because after World War I, it was pretty clear to people like that were looking into it, like Orwell, what was going on. And he said that this new, the state in the book has no allegiance or alliance to any people, to any religion, to any race, to any flag, to anything. They are power for power's sake. And that's it. And that is the ultimate totalitarian
Yeah, it is.
mindset.
Absolutely.
Because it's not about, and I believe that the supranational group, I call it the parent company or the global public-private partnership, I think that if you look back to, first of all, they've been looking into the Rockefeller Foundation for subverting the will of the American people since the 30s.
Yeah.
And the Ford Foundation and the Carnegie Foundation.
Right.
All three involved in the Federal Reserve. All three families. So when I talk about the Rockefeller model on my show a lot, I'm talking about what we're dealing with Soros, with the Clintons. The Rockefeller model is basically to start these foundations and NGOs and all of that. Of course, all these people were also involved in the IRS being established.
Right.
And they were all involved in the Federal Reserve. And then they made all the rules for foundations and for nonprofits and for all of that. And they have followed this model, and they have been subverting the will of the people since the 30s. And without anyone ever looking at them, because they own everyone.
Right.
And that's where the American people, that's why I wrote Americans Anonymous. Because,
Tell us about that book. It's a great book.
thank you. Well, you know me, like 20 years ago, I walked into my first AA meeting, and I walked in and I thought, oh, this is so great. Everyone here knows that they're the problem. This is a room full of people that are like, I'm the mess. And I need to do something about this. I need to find God. I need to find fellowship. I'm in my own way. And so, that always stayed in my head, that it was like you walked in there and you were like, wow, a room full of people that know they're the problem.
Yeah.
We're in Hollywood, so you're always dealing with people that it's never them. And now I'm like, everyone in here believes that they are the problem, and they're all telling you how bad they are.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, this is great. I'm such a better person than I thought I was compared to that guy, And I had a good experience in that. And then during COVID, when I was traveling around, 2 weeks to stop the spread, I got invited to speak with RFK Jr. and other people in Times Square. And that was kind of like the beginning of going around the country and speaking. And everywhere I went, I felt like once you got away from it, I felt like people were so down, like they were at rock bottom when it came to how they felt about America, about life. It wasn't about Trump. It wasn't about anything. You know what it was? It was the psychological operation we've been under for so long
Yeah.
that had torn people apart inside. And then, there was that book in the 80s. I can't remember that woman's name. She wrote The Intentional Dumbing Down of the American
Mhm.
Child. So you do many, many years of that. And
Mhm.
all I thought was America needs an intervention.
Yeah.
And the one thing I think that's the best part of I think AA is amazing, but the one thing I think is the best part of it is the sick is your secrets. And I looked around because of all the work I was doing to try to follow the money and how this happened, and I thought America is as sick as its secrets.
Mhm.
And people
Mhm.
did this to us. This wasn't, that's why I said America is addicted to conflict and chaos. They are addicted to fighting each other by design.
Mhm.
There are pushers, there are dealers,
Mhm.
there are people that profit, and then there's the kingpins. And I said, I have to figure out, how this happened and why it happened. And so I used the 12 steps of AA to kind of be like, okay, where did this start? And in the beginning of the book, I say flat out, like, when you hear people saying, I'm not going to Thanksgiving because my relatives voted for Trump,
Mhm.
the psychological operation has worked,
Yeah.
Mhm.
100%.
Yeah, division.
Yeah.
And you look at one person like that. Plus, the opposite about Obama worked. He
Yeah,
was
that one really worked.
the worst.
Yeah.
What happened to us over those years is so sickening. And again, it all goes back to Nazi Germany,
Mhm.
and it's all by design.
It is by design.
And honestly, there's not and the whole point of the book is we're the problem and we're the solution. Just like when you're recovering from any kind of drug or alcohol or whatever,
What's
you're
the
the
first
problem.
step we need to take towards recovery as a country?
We have to be honest with ourselves about our history and stop. Everything that we've been taught basically was to protect the people that were betraying this country. So our history books, and then you really do. We have come to the place where we have to really take a close look at the Rockefellers, what they've been doing to this country since the creation of the Federal Reserve.
Yeah, that's it.
I
Bingo.
mean, the truth of the matter is, and I'm sorry if you're part of that family. I don't blame you, like I don't blame anyone in 2026 for slavery. Of course, that was also a British thing, by
Right.
the way. Something that's never been taught about slavery in America is that it was benefiting the French and the English.
Yes, that's right.
They were funding the South
Yep.
because they wanted secession.
Yeah.
They funded, and you know who helped us during the Civil War? Russia,
Mm.
the North. Russia helped the North. Russia helped us in the Civil War. They helped us in the Revolution. And then all of a sudden, they realize how profitable war is. And now the Cold War starts. And then never forget when these people lie that they promised Gorbachev that they would end NATO. And then George Soros, in 1993, put out his whole NATO World Order document. It's still on the Open Society. I don't know how people don't know this. He was obviously a mentor of the Clintons,
Mhm.
and 2 years later, they start expanding NATO.
Mhm.
NATO should have ended.
Yeah.
And we should have normalized relationship with Russia.
Yeah.
But you had all these people that now are in the EU that I believe not only
Are moving towards Russia.
but the
World War III.
right, but if you read Brzezinski again, no, you have to remember Brzezinski was Jimmy Carter's, I believe, Secretary of State or whatever he was.
Bingo. I was going to ask you about Carter.
Yeah, and then Obama brings him back,
Yeah.
and he wrote that the Grand Chessboard, which is literally people don't even know the Third Reich's goal was to have a unified Europe with no Russia and
Mhm.
divide Russia and all the natural resources into those countries. That is still the goal.
That
Yeah.
is the goal.
So that's why me and Kathy always say, like, we're not so sure World War II ever ended.
Yeah.
You know, it just became, and when George
I don't
H.W.
think it did either because Hitler and the Mufti of Jerusalem continue to this day to, they wanted to make Europe Judenrein, and then they wanted to make the Levant and all the Arab states Judenrein, which they have done. And now, they want to return Israel to Palestine. It's the same thing. It's never ended.
No.
They just call it different names, like calling uh, the German Workers'
Right.
Party,
Right.
fascist, not socialist.
Right, exactly. So they mix everything around. That's
Mhm.
that's a thing. But when it comes to like seekers are secrets, because when I started talking about this stuff, people would get very upset
Yeah.
because they felt like you were putting down America. I'm
Yeah.
like, no, we have all been equally betrayed
Yeah.
in and these people are the brilliant. Like people have to understand, we're talking about Bernays who created advertising,
Mhm.
PR,
Yeah.
propaganda,
Yeah.
and Goebbels and all these people. And let me tell you, they knew full well there is a oh, and the guy that was running the Bank of International Settlements during World War II is an American banker. His name was a lawyer as well. His name was McKittrick. So everything, so nothing in terms of international finance stopped at all.
No, got richer.
Yeah. And, they they 60 million people were victims of Nazi Germany, with the help of these international bankers and
Mostly
international
the German
organizations.
people. I mean, the German people had been, uh,
They've been used over and over, quite
since World
honestly.
War
Oh,
One,
yeah.
decreasing that population. They don't It's funny that they don't like white people. That's really what's funny.
Well, what's scary is right now, white people are the minority on the planet.
Mhm.
And yet,
But that would be the Fourth Reich's goal too.
yeah, it seems so.
Yeah.
And is
Well, maybe they're not as, oh,
well, right now, what we have to realize is that it's not an accident that Trump is meeting with Putin in Budapest, in Hungary, and that a lot of those countries in there, they feel like they were tricked into the EU because it never had anything to do with it being a union like
Yeah.
America. That's just not going to happen. And all of those countries have had their sovereignty taken away from them right before their eyes wide open. And frankly, that's what
which
they're
I
hoping
love that
happen
you
here.
said that because I was gonna say, Brzezinski and that whole thing that America doesn't really understand either, what was that was Jimmy Carter, and what America doesn't understand what he did to us. He instituted the SES,
Ugh,
and
right.
that
And then
took
protected them.
yes, and
What's that?
that's like, the
Senior executive
senior
service.
executive service. That's like saying that there's a group above even the CIA that controls everything.
Never
So
heard
he
of 'em.
sold us out
Yeah.
in a massive way.
Yeah.
And he was kind of the first jihadi president.
Oh, yeah, but, it's funny. This is interesting. I think that when John Foster Dulles took over the State Department stopped working for America. I
That's true.
I really believe that the State Department and the CIA have always worked for the international banking cartel.
That's true.
And that is who they've been protecting. Because if you look at all the overthrows, all the regime change, it's always people that don't wanna go along with it, like Gaddafi,
Yeah.
Right.
or Saddam Hussein,
Right.
or all of these wars.
Yeah.
And again, the American taxpayer has paid
Currency,
for all of it.
resources, right.
Yeah, and,
But what do you think about this now? Trump, because people are saying this might be like Russia and America getting a divorce from the EU.
I hope so. I hope so. I mean, I would like to see the people of the EU freed, but frankly, they've let in too many people by design. Oh, like I was saying, so, this is a George Soros plan. It's on his website, and it's not just him, obviously. The problem with talking about Soros is he's like, he kind of like, look over here.
No, he's owned by MI6.
Yeah, it's like, look over here, point at that guy. And then does everyone think that the marriage of a Muslim Brotherhood daughter and George Soros' son is not
Right.
Is
Right.
inconsequential and means nothing.
Right, exactly. You
Right.
know, and I pulled up and you can go back and look at it, but
You know
when
the Vatican put Muslim prayer rugs
I
in there.
saw,
I told you it's Chrislam.
I know you
Yeah.
did.
UN Agenda
Yeah.
30.
It
Yeah,
seems to
yeah.
be
One world,
undeniable
one
now.
religion,
Mhm.
one financial, everything. Right now, believe me, they're going full steam ahead for the
Yeah.
BIS central bank digital currency, digital wallet, digital
Yes.
everything. The EU is selling out their entire population,
Well,
and
they
I think
can't
that's
do anything
400 million
else.
people. No, they don't have any power anymore. The people at all in those countries, but you know, Hungary, Slovakia, Poland. Um, a couple of those countries are now being called, of course, Norma Eisen's going over there right before the one of your favorite people, right before the Polish election. Obama, Valerie Jarrett, and one other person go over to Poland to try to sway it towards the person that's going to work for the International Global Public Private Partnership Agenda 2030. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, it's not a coincidence.
Uh-uh.
Like these are the and the truth is they don't believe that, and this comes out of Rockefeller's memoir too. They don't believe that people, humanity, deserves to be free, deserves to live.
No, well, we're too stupid. We
Right.
didn't go to Harvard and all that.
Thank God. Oh my God.
We didn't get the right brainwashing to think that having sex with kids is good.
No, no. And don't forget, that's being normalized
Oh, that's
in
all
the
they care about.
EU
Oh, it's all they care
because
about.
of, well, don't think they're not going to try it in New York under Mamdani.
No,
Wait till you see
it's
what's
done.
going to happen
It's
there.
cooked. It's already over there.
Well, it's already over there. They just want to not go to jail for it.
And the Muslim Brotherhood right now is celebrating that they're going to run London and New York City.
Yeah.
You know, and eyes wide open. We all watched it, sitting there hoping, you know, look at Trump, look at Trump. It's all Trump. Don't look at what we're doing over here. You know, people say like everything that happens, I say who benefits. You know, even the murder of Charlie Kirk, who benefits? Again, the same people that always benefit. Those that will divide America in every which way, traumatize our country so that we give up. And that is why I wrote the book, because it's up to us. You know, our country's not 250 years old. When history looks back on, hopefully we don't fall like Rome and turn a corner now in a better direction. And in 1,000 years, they're still going to think the people that were there at 250 years are the founders.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what are we finding now? We're acting like we don't have any power. Well, because we're not acting like we have any power.
Yeah.
And it's all local, as we talk about all the time. But you know, I really believe that normalizing relations with Russia will change the entire world. And
I do too, and I'm glad to see it happen. I have to give myself props that when I ran for president in 2012, remember I wrote the open letter to Putin?
yes,
And I pulled it up today
I saw it on my way
as
here.
I was seeing what Trump's doing now. And I'm like, man, this was prescient because I said, you build a railway, there's many ways our country.
Exactly.
And that's what they're talking about now. So I was like, whoa, man, I want to publish this so people can see how it totally uh, aligns with what Trump wants to do. But I mean, that was just common sense.
Well, also the auto pen regime, the Biden regime, the Obama regime, whatever you want to call it,
The Valerie Jarrett
regime. Yes, you know, she's still running that
She runs it all.
Obama foundation.
She runs it all.
Yeah, yeah.
Muslim
And don't
Brotherhood.
forget, she was Michelle Obama's mentor too.
I know
so-
the woman,
with Daley.
the first woman mullah.
Absolutely. But there was a lot of betrayal with Iran over the last 4 years that people don't know about, including putting Iranian spies into the administration. And frankly, it appears to me that during Trump's first term, they continued to run their foreign policy out of West Exec Advisors, where Blinken was, and Flournoy, and Avril Haines, and Jen Psaki. West Exec Advisors, looks like to me, they were and they called themselves consultants, so they
Yeah.
didn't have to file with FARA, they didn't have to file as lobbyists. But if you go look at their clients, military-industrial complex, they're advising them on what to do. They're selling weapons to Ukraine, hand over fist, to use Ukraine, I believe, as the base to, again, try to take down Russia. But it was all planned before Trump got there in 2016, in my
Yeah.
opinion. And because there's Victoria Nuland testified to Congress in
Ugh.
2015. I played it on Alex Jones' show the other
He's
day.
no good at all.
Yeah, and let me tell you.
Not Alex, I meant
No.
Victoria.
Right. Nuland and her husband, I remember her husband used to run NATO. And she ran, National Endowment for Democracy, which is the overthrow operation of the CIA. And she said, we were basically financing the entire Ukraine. Not just that, she was basically talking about running the judicial system,
Yeah.
running the police, running the military. And this is after they overthrew the duly elected president under Obama in 2014.
Mhm.
And that's even above and beyond Burisma. And she's telling the whole world, and proud of it, in 2015, and saying that they're going to continue in 2016. Well, Trump, when he was running in 2016, was talking about normalizing relations with Russia.
Oh, they
Yeah,
hated that.
that
This
was the whole
not
Russiagate.
allowed.
The grift
That's
would
what I
be
think the whole
over.
thing's about.
That's what
I do
Russiagate was
too.
about for sure, yeah.
I think that's what it was all about. And that's why I think that not only is it a grand conspiracy, but it affected the entire world. If I was them, I would do right now, they want to investigate Soros and the Open Society. Well, I would do a world investigation
Yeah, no kidding.
on the Open Society, particularly what they've done, because even that whole Navalny thing, remember that?
Mhm.
And then he died in captivity or whatever.
And it goes, it's like Epstein, Soros.
Oh,
You
1,000%.
right? Exactly.
Well, my theory is that the Epstein was not just a human trafficker. I believe that he was a weapons
Of
trafficker.
course, they
Oh,
all
that's
were.
interesting.
Yeah, and then don't forget, 2008, in his trial, he puts in an affidavit saying that he created the Clinton Foundation.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So while Hillary Clinton, this is that the Clintons have gotten away with what they've gotten away with
Yeah.
since Mena,
Unbelievable.
That's the
Arkansas.
psyop on
It's
me.
It's shocking.
amazing.
Yeah.
Still, they were supposed to testify this past week behind closed doors about Epstein, postponed it. Why are they allowed to postpone? Was Trump allowed to postpone anything for the last 4 years?
Mm-mm.
Or Roger Stone or Bannon or any? And the Clintons just get to postpone their testimony. They've never been questioned about Epstein. And in 2008, he put a sworn testimony that he created the Clinton Foundation. Well, while Hillary Clinton is presiding over the rogue State Department, she made the biggest weapons deal ever with Saudi Arabia, and at the same time gets donations from them into the Clinton Foundation.
Yeah, that's what you would do. Pay
Yeah.
for play. That's
Isn't
what you
that
would
what Benghazi was about?
That was about covering up that they sent weapons against, I believe that Petraeus didn't want that to happen, to send those weapons. And then our people were shot down, I think, 3 different times by weapons that were sent secretly. I think, and then Syria was what that was about. But what the hell were we doing in Syria anyway?
Yeah.
Like, none of this is, I'm telling you, it's all for profit, and for anyone that doesn't get in line with the IMF, the World Bank, BIS, and the international banking system.
Bingo, it's all the same.
Yep. And the
And-
military-industrial complex, like Eisenhower warned us. And if you go look at like Eisenhower and other people like that, after they got out of office, all of them point at the CIA. All of them. So what came out of the most recent disclosure? Multiple things, particularly about Angleton, who was obviously very, very involved. He was his protege of Dulles. But what came out was that they were doing they were making bioweapons in World War I, World War II, IG Farben. That's why those people were, tried at Nuremberg. But they were also infecting crops all over the world,
Yes.
to kill people
Yeah.
as
Well,
weapons.
that's a common communist thing,
War.
is starvation if you don't go,
Right. So all these famines we've heard about in the last, and then the other thing too is what is going on? We have sent so much money to Africa. And if you look at the most poor slums on planet Earth, it's everywhere USAID has been sending money.
I know.
For decades.
Because it's a grift. It's a money
Totally.
laundering.
It's the developing nation concept is to never let them develop.
Right.
Yeah, they always put the They always
We always
name
say
it
that.
for exactly the
The
opposite
opposite.
of
Yeah.
what it is.
Right, like sustainable development goals. They're just not telling you that it's sustainable for the international banking cartel and organizations that have been running the world.
Yeah.
They want to sustain. That's what the sustainable development goals are about. It's got nothing to
That's
do
the
with that.
global warming too. You're gonna get so hot when we cut off your air conditioning because we're, dining on, extinct species, and our wives are wearing their furs as we eat your children's livers at our parties. You're gonna get hot as hell.
Yeah, but you know what else that's about? And, if you go back to the limits of growth that started it all, of course, that's from a Rockefeller group known as the Club of Rome.
The Club of Rome, let's go there. Oh my god.
Well, that's Rockefeller's Club of Rome. And
I know their secret hashtag, and it's Shabbat, so I'm protected by the Lord God, we all are. The Club of Rome, I was given, I know some of them cardinals that aren't I know some of them cardinals that ain't Jesuits. And, I teach a lot of people about things,
yeah.
and I have taught some of them, and they give me their, hashtag. I don't know if I should say it,
Say it.
but I have told it to many people who matter. But,
You can tell me later.
I'll tell you later. Starts with Rome, hashtag Rome, and then 2 other words.
So you know what it's the same data manipulation from the Imperial College and all that. All the
Yep.
data is all fake, just like it was for COVID. But I have to tell you that they decided in their big book, Limits of Growth. Of
Mhm.
course, it's God's planet and nature. There are no limits of growth.
Right.
Right.
You are limiting growth
Right.
by
Well,
your
they don't like God.
solutions.
Well,
No.
they think they're smarter than God,
Right.
and that God, he really needs to learn some stuff from them.
Yeah. Well, they also, I think, believe that people that believe in God are stupid.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
The
that,
scum of the earth.
yeah, like just what did Kissinger call us? Useless eaters.
Yeah,
Mhm.
useless. Well, Hitler said that.
Yeah, but I think Kissinger repeated that. Again, we were told that Kissinger, Brzezinski, and Madeleine Albright were heroes. They were the opposite. In my opinion, they were always in on what we're dealing with right
A
now.
hero, I guess, is someone with no human attributes at
No,
all.
no. And that,
Someone who outgrew their humanity in every way.
and if you look at Kissinger, he would openly say that he spent more time in London than he did in America. And that, and then you look at Chatham House and Council of Foreign Relations, they're in that group that's above governments. So
They're superhuman. They're man gods,
to
right?
them,
Aren't they?
to
They're like
themselves.
Mount Olympus.
Well, think about how
Well, isn't
arrogant.
that what Epstein and them were all doing? Try to figure out how to get the stem cells out of
Yeah.
their aborted fetuses that
eugenics
they
and
were impregnating all these girls and then making them abort their fetuses for the stem cells
Yeah.
to create this master race.
Yes. Yes.
Right? Nobody knows that either.
Oh, yeah.
All funded
Well,
with
one guy's
royal
in jail
money.
for it. The guy from Canada,
Mhm.
he actually he went to jail, but that's what they were all doing. And yeah, I mean, I don't know what I was saying.
You're
We're
talking
just
about
talking about
Epstein and
Oh, Club
some
of Rome. I
yeah.
just want to finish this
Yeah.
part. So the Club of Rome, financed by Rockefeller, you have to always think Standard Oil, Rockefeller. Standard Oil. Too many people forget that it's the same because when it got broken up into
Yeah.
ExxonMobil, still
Standard Oil.
Standard Oil.
Yeah, House of Windsor.
Yeah. So what we have to look at there is that their conclusion in their big limits of growth that kicked off the climate change nonsense was that the problem on planet Earth is humans.
Humans and their farts. They're
Humans.
stinky, dirty, unwashed farts as they go about building everything we live in and doing all the work that makes everything go. Those disgusting friggin' things.
Yeah. I mean, but that started it off. And then I tell a lot of people,
Well, isn't it Al Gore with his inconvenient
and it was so
untruths?
fake. Do you know that Al Gore learned about climate change at theology school? This is true
Oh my
story.
God.
Is that true?
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, uh-huh. And then it looks like Joel Gilbert says that he totally plagiarized his book about climate change and that he was leading towards like they were grooming him to because his father was in politics to be like president, but that kind of was part of it. that he was going to be like, I'm going to save the planet. Like it was all kind of part of this.
He
Uh,
was like the first Obama, but he was too
do you
stupid.
want to hear something crazy that
What?
I found out? Obama was in Rio in the 90s when they kicked off climate change. He was a community organizer from Chicago. What was he doing at the Rio conference where the Kyoto Treaty and climate change and Clinton and Gore were kicking off the whole international globalist operation known as global warming? What was Obama doing down there?
Hmm.
So very strange if you look at
Well,
where he
it's
jumped
not
around.
if you really, really look at that, the real ruling class of what they do.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
mean, come
Groom
on.
people from I mean, Obama clearly was groomed. There's also big chunks of his history that are still hidden for
Yeah.
why would that be?
Yeah.
Like, so he went to Occidental College, then there's a big nothing there. Then he ends up at Harvard Law School, graduates with Norm Eisen and all of them in 91 from Harvard Law, brings a lot of those people with him to DC. So, a
Well,
lot of
these people were created in a laboratory.
they had
They
to have
were
been.
a CIA
No, for
lab.
real.
And I think that they went through, like, to a certain extent, what Kathy went through
Me too.
to break their souls and their personality so that they can present as, a squawking parrot that says all the right things for their masters or their
Unable
puppet
to
masters.
unable to think,
Gifted
No
and
thinking.
talented children is what they are.
right?
It's the gifted and talented
They're
But
people.
isn't it
broken
so
humans.
crazy how they fooled us our whole lives to think like if you went to Harvard, you were superior somehow?
Yeah.
And then they convinced them they were, and they purposely dumbed down Harvard.
Yeah.
Harvard right now is a $50 billion hedge fund with a school attached.
Yeah.
That's it.
And didn't Jeffrey Epstein make it that? He
know,
did.
He had an office at Harvard for 20 years.
It's all just a fucking bullshit scam.
And then
Ceiling to floor bullshit 24/7.
But how about people like Massey and other people are like, put out the list. Go do what I did. Look at the transcripts from all of the cases. You
Yeah.
can find the people in there. You can find Larry Summers in there. You can find Reid Hoffman in there. You can find all these Wall Street bankers in there.
It's
Their
all
names
the
are out there.
bankers. That's why do you think they don't release it? Do you think Trump's in it? They keep saying
No
that.
way. No,
He's not
I
fucking
don't.
in it. Why do they
No,
keep
no,
saying
no.
that?
It's just because they have dumbed down their constituency
Yep.
so much that they'll believe anything. We're driving down the street at the No Kings thing. It's all women over 50,
Yeah.
white women
Yeah.
over 50.
The worst group in
They're the people that allowed the
planet.
whole idea that the country's systematically
They
racist.
fucking voted for Obama. They're
And
dumb
white-
bitches.
Yeah.
They're getting their, they got to go, and they are going. They're all on pills. They're all fucked
Well,
up.
that's a whole nother thing. I talked to another
Mind
MK
control.
Ultra survivor that Kathy's friendly with, Dr. Juliet Engel.
Uh-huh.
Great lady. And she, you don't meet that many. Her and it's interesting because her and Kathy both went through it, but different, like separately. But they
Mhm.
definitely crossed paths. But Juliet Engel was involved in the whole LSD,
Yeah.
Hate
It's mind
Ashbury,
control.
Mhm.
the whole thing. Well, what she told me that I didn't know was that the people that were supplying the CIA with the LSD was Eli Lilly,
I knew that.
who later put out what? Prozac.
Yeah.
All of them. Cymbalta, I think, was them.
Yeah.
All the major
So-
And
antidepressants.
I've been on all of them.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
too. But well, thank God I got off all drugs in
They were
2017.
definitely, that was decided that they was going to give it to Jewish women. Let's just be
Children.
real. Jewish children too, and that's who takes it. That's who lines up for all the pills in the world
Now
is
they
the
all
Jews.
do. Well, they started there.
No, it's
Yeah.
like it's 80 million women in America, 60 million, something like that, are on antidepressants, some version of it.
It's like the
Crazy. It's
Jewish
most people.
American women are like, I can't take another minute of this bullshit. Get me on something.
Yeah, but the saddest part, though, if you really look at it, and like I was talking to her about, was, and you work backwards,
Mhm.
that the goal was to take those LSD trials, right?
Yeah.
And then put it in, I mean, if you look at it, get it to a place where it's slow and it's years
Slow
and years.
acting.
No, where it takes away your ability to function and think and your
Uh-huh.
brain to grow.
Yeah, it's boiling
and
a
all of
frog
that.
is what it is,
Exactly.
Boiling
yeah.
frog. Uh-huh.
Makes you
So they
dumber
took
slowly.
this heavy hardcore, all the stuff that they were testing on people in World War II at the
Mhm.
camps. I mean, and some of the, I highly recommend to anyone that book about by she wrote multiple books about the CIA, but Annie Jacobson's Operation
Yes.
Paperclip
Yeah.
because and also Alan Dulles loved MK Ultra.
Yeah.
So
Like, he put
creepy.
his own kid
They always
into
put
it.
their own kids in it.
And, frankly, Harvard, obviously, was running one of the, operations. But, what's scariest is that they know that putting young children on these drugs interferes with their brain and, obviously, their human potential, their gift from God, that spark of genius that everyone should be able to feel and
Yeah,
experience.
it's gone.
Potential, human potential. So, the drugging of children
And that's what
was
it's
the end
about.
goal, I
Yeah.
think,
I think so too.
as young as possible.
So they can sexually abuse them too.
Well, they're already destroyed, the
Yeah.
ones that they didn't get out.
Yeah.
And then, under the Clintons, they made basically foster care for profit.
Uh-huh.
What do we
Yeah,
think
where they
happened there?
traffic kids from CPS
Yeah.
to
And
Diddy parties. They proved that.
yeah, but that didn't come but Maureen Comey didn't say anything about children during the entire case.
Yeah, I know.
They won't go there. And they won't go there in the Epstein case either.
I know. Why do you think they won't release the Epstein show? I think it's because everyone in Congress went.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people did. Honestly, I believe that I believe the people most in danger are the military-industrial complex people
Mm.
and the bankers that really run the country. And,
Because this is a means to ends
yeah.
to them. This is a part
Yeah.
of the
Well,
currency.
depopulation. Don't forget, Georgia Guidestones, my belief, if you listen to Ted Turner, and you know that he funded a lot. See, he doesn't get called out a lot,
No, he doesn't.
but Ted Turner funded a lot of the UN population control.
I know he did.
And he was very involved in donating to the Lucis Trust, as was
Yeah.
Gates and Soros. So, again, most people don't even know that the Rockefellers funded the United Nations. And frankly, I think the United Nations has been a gigantic money laundering operation
100%.
the entire
And
time.
probably trafficking and arms dealing too.
Yeah.
And children.
Yeah.
Well, the Vatican's on there, so it's
How
I
many
mean,
times
how
have the UN been called out? But there's a part of this, though, that if you go back and look at Samantha Power,
oh God,
and
she's
don't
still
forget,
there.
her husband, Cass Sonstein, was the professor of Obama and Eisen of lawfare and all this stuff. Sonstein, people don't even know, wrote the open border legislation that was going on the last 4 years. That's why the auto pen presidency, we still do not know who was running this country.
Yeah.
We do
Or
though.
the
It's
world.
Valerie Jarrett.
No, bigger than that.
Bigger.
No, I think it was probably more like BlackRock.
Well, that's probably true too.
Because the same day that Donald Trump meets for the first time since the beginning with Putin in public to do finally detente, clear up what's been going on since the fake Cold War, Larry Fink gets promoted to the top of the World Economic Forum the same day.
Yeah, that is true.
And the American people, I mean, and we can get into even what they've done to the black community on purpose. And
Well,
a lot
that's
of
what
people.
Obama's job was to steal all the wealth of the black community. I cried when he got elected because I was like, all the little black children that think this was a step forward, how devastating it will be when they see what it was.
Well, what the black community should be doing right now is demanding that the millionaires that have been there for ages in the black congressional caucus
Yeah, they should divest.
investigate where the money went for Black Lives Matter, because
No
it did
shit.
not go to the black communities, and defund the police hurt the black communities.
Yep.
No bail, no jail hurt the black communities.
Well, they did it on purpose.
Yeah.
It's all
divide and
they
conquer.
put the opposite name
Mm-hmm.
of what it really is. Like banks do, trust and fidelity.
Right, exactly. Oh, right. The FDIC. We'll,
So-
we'll protect you.
Now that you've told us everything's over and everything's infiltrated and we're all gonna
Well,
die, what's
she's
the
positive
I think it's
thinker,
the
though.
opposite.
Yeah, give us a little.
She
we do
gives
have to
us
wrap
the
up.
upside now.
We're running out of-
We're wrapping up.
We have to wrap
Yeah,
soon.
we always do this. Mel and I, we go through it and we go, those dirty bastards. And then we go like this.
Here's the hope.
But
Yeah, give
the
me some hope.
hope is God. And what is God doing?
Well, what God's doing, I think, is I hope, and this is my hope, is that every American citizen, regardless of race, religion, background, or anything else, has to understand that our grandparents and our parents were lied to, looted, manipulated for the good of a very small group of people that run the international banking cartel.
Yeah.
And our children and grandchildren and everyone else has an opportunity to take a very, very good turn back to what George Washington left us. For me, I always say to people, read the George Washington farewell address. That is the best case scenario for
Yeah.
America. And what was that? That America stayed neutral. Okay, we were not supposed to get involved
Yep.
in other countries. That was the whole point. That America was this promised land, that we were going to remain neutral. We were not going to interfere in foreign countries' business, and we were not going to allow foreign countries to interfere in ours. You know, lobbying, think tanks,
Yeah.
all of this has been a disaster for America. And what I hope right now, and what I think is happening, what I think God is doing, is opening the hearts of people. And honestly, it sounds corny, but I think that people are realizing, like, you hit rock bottom in, like I write about in Americans Anonymous, and you have nowhere lower to go, but you can go as high as you want if you take the turn.
Mhm.
And I think people have to start to realize the divide and conquer, even with these like stupid no kings things, which if there was a king, this wouldn't be happening, of course, because
Right.
they're so stupid. But it's all about, like, so that we don't see that we have all equally been victimized.
Hmm.
You can talk over and over about slavery 400 years ago, but if you don't know that France and the UK were basically in on it and funding it and profiting, all the cotton and stuff was going there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so if you don't know that America was infiltrated over and over and over right before our eyes, and then the murder of JFK, and the American people got that Warren report, and we're supposed to shut up about it and go forward, and then look at what happened after that. Just complete and total, like I talk about in here, the drugging, manipulating, and mind control
And endless wars.
of the American people
Mm-hmm.
by high-level mind control, propaganda.
Yeah.
Everything was about public opinion,
Tax
swaying the public. That's what the whole time with Donald Trump. This is why we all have to realize the entire Russiagate was the whole world was affected by this. There would not have been a war in Israel. There would not have been a war in Ukraine.
Yeah.
And they needed that war. They need the wars. And for me, we didn't get there, but I believe also something about Israel that people I don't think are looking at is that China was meeting with a boss quite a bit before October 7th.
Mm-hmm.
Netanyahu was supposed to meet with Xi, and October 7th happened the week before. Okay, so a lot of what's going on there, in my opinion, is about that port
Course.
that they tried to build really quick and
Mhm.
it sunk because, you know, what they've done to our military. China wants that port for the Belt and Road Initiative, which is not only their taking over all the ports in the maritime. I believe the Belt and Road Initiative is also their military plan.
That's right.
Control all the routes of maritime.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And then don't forget, they're at the top of the UN, CCP.
Yep.
Right.
They're at the top of all of these groups, the World Health Organization.
Yes.
The craziest part is that the international bankers built the CCP. They funded it too.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
I didn't know that, but it makes total fucking sense.
Oh,
So
yeah,
what
they
do
funded it.
you think that the I mean, it's no small thing. I'm sorry we didn't get to it, but we have to say
Have her back.
something. But it is amazing that somehow the Arab Gulf states came to the uh, rescue of their Jewish brothers and sisters in the Levant against Hamas, and we know where that goes. It goes to the UN and all these things, the Rockefellers, everything we've said that's evil about the world, and they saw it. And it's a great thing that it was a biblical prophecy come true that the older brother would protect the younger brother, and that would be a switch in the world. And all these things are happening way too fast. We have to have a whole other show about the Bible and what's going on. But talk about the light going on. That's a
That's what I
biblical
think
thing.
is happening.
Yeah.
I
And
do
that
too.
light inside of us. that they've tried over decades with our food, our water, our education system, our, divide and conquer, what they've done to inner cities, what they've done to our architecture. Look at everything. You can also go look up Alice Bailey, who was like the Lucis Trust at the UN. The
All of 'em.
Rockefellers pulled her in to have the Lucis Trust meditation room. She has the 10 things to a one world government, which has been followed to a T.
Mhm.
And I believe it's about taking the God gene, the God spirit out of human beings
That is what it is.
and making them cattle. And right now, I think that the real genocide, if you want to call one, is actually on the white people of
Yeah,
the world.
I do too.
It is.
And yet
And
we still sit
Christians.
here and talk. Well, yeah, but we still sit here and talk about why don't they have open borders in China? Why aren't they sending the migrants? Why aren't they sending them to India? Why aren't they sending them anywhere else? They're only sending them to the only places that really the white race built. All of these centuries in Europe are just getting erased.
Mhm.
The United States, even you can say this about the United States or Israel. Oh, you're on stolen land. Well, we built that. We built.
Yeah, it was a swamp,
Yeah,
bitch.
yeah,
You
and
want it back a swamp? Well, wait a minute. We'll get Halliburton and we'll flatten it. You can have the swamp.
there you go. And frankly, that's what I think the whole thing in Israel is about that land and that port. Because if you look
It
at the Belt and
is.
Road Initiative, they that would connect them. I also believe that
Is that why you think the Arabs and the Jews suddenly went, okay,
yes,
we
yes,
don't want we don't want the CCP over here
yeah, but I
because
also
they'll take all our religion away.
and I think that the CCP, because they're both totalitarian, they can't exist together. Once they would get their plan and destroy America and walk us into Agenda 2030, what then the CCP and Islam are going to be friends?
No.
No, no, no.
Right.
That's not how it works. But I
So
also,
it's a total God move
yeah,
then.
I think it's
Oh, it's
also
so awesome.
the world uniting,
Mhm.
not against China, but against what China has been used for,
Right.
which is, frankly, everything that China is now is because of the international global public-private partnership and international banks that invested in China,
Right.
That's true.
that built China, that destroyed.
Kissinger opened up,
Right,
right? Kissinger's
exactly.
bullshit. So, w- if it's true that Trump is taking down the entire royal family's banking system, and
Right.
it seems to be,
That is what I believe, yes.
yeah, right.
Yes,
Then this is the beginning of the golden age.
exactly.
And it's not the new world order that the Nazis want. This is the people's
Right,
golden age.
right, and what my hope for America right now is, more than anything else, is that people realize that we have all been betrayed
Yeah.
on the deepest level.
And get off each other's throats.
Yes. And because let me tell you something, particularly before Obama, especially where I grew up outside of Philly, I never thought about any of the race stuff. Like, I had friends like you,
Yeah.
like you guys.
Uh,
I
I was
never
so
thought about it.
Everybody I hung with was so post-racial.
Me
We didn't
too.
give a shit. Everybody's kids and family was mixed. It wasn't nothing we ever talked about anymore,
Yeah, I thought
except
it was
for in
done.
the
Me too.
history. Like, yeah, like my grandma, your
Yeah.
grandma.
Look at what they did. This was a operation to destroy
Mhm.
unity in America on the most fundamental level.
Yeah.
And
Coming from billionaires
Oh, yeah.
down,
oh yeah,
not the grassroots
and
up.
those lunatics like AOC and people, they're on an oligarchy tour.
Yeah,
Do you know that you are the foot soldiers for the oligarchy tour?
I'm sure they don't.
No, they do. They do. I
do.
bet you all those people right now have bank accounts in Cayman
you're
Islands or
probably right.
wherever. Epstein's other big thing was that he hid money for the billionaires.
Yep.
He was very involved in NGOs, very involved in all of this.
That's what
which
I
is
thought
why,
he was.
Yeah, which is why I'm glad Scott Bessent is using the Treasury to look into all of this money that has gone through these NGOs, particularly when you look at the Rockefellers, but all of those are all connected in different ways. If you look at anyone if you go to influencewatch.org and you look up any of these, you're going to see it's the same people that have been since
That's
the Federal
America's
Reserve.
money, American taxpayers' money. We worked hard. We got stolen from it. We want it back. Everybody gets reparations. It's a whole Trump said when he was elected it was going to be a year-long party. Come on, Trump, get our money back and let's start partying.
Now
And
that's
if we can do
positive.
that, and we can do it in the right way, because let me tell you something, it's not that that children aren't, they're purposely being sold out by this education system on purpose.
On
Mhm.
purpose.
And
They're
it's
being
just time.
destroyed on purpose. People are getting off on it. They're sadistic pedophiles.
And I honestly believe that it's being brought out in the open. I mean, my thing is, I just feel that, like I said, our country is as sick as its secrets. And once we really learn the real history of what's been done to us and how we have been looted
Yeah.
and lied to and paid for this globalist experiment.
We paid for everybody to come at us with a gun and a you know, thing to give us
Syringe.
a syringe and
Yeah,
a
but
gun.
this whole vaccination as a weapon has been going on since the
Yeah.
beginning of pharmacy. Particularly IG Farben. And again, a lot of those people were, we do need to understand that a lot of Nazis, came here. And people don't think that it's a big deal that Grassley is following those rat lines, but it is a big deal.
It is a big deal, and they should follow them. I mean, we'll talk about that next time, but, let's just say, thank you, God, for bringing us to this day and opening our eyes, and please help, our fellow Americans' eyes to get more open, keep opening. Don't let them shut. Do it gently if you can. We try to do it gently, but it must be done, and thank you for letting us 2 gals meet. You're the
Amen.
shit, my
Yeah,
friend.
yeah,
I love
really.
you so
Mind
much.
blowing every
I love
time.
you so much.
Every
Well,
fucking
thank
time.
you guys. I really, really hope that people spread the word about the truth, because we're all on the same side.
Yeah.
We really
We are.
are.
Get this book, Americans Anonymous, and start your trip to sobriety.
Yes, for America.
Well, the
Somebody
good sobriety.
Yeah.
Huh?
The good kind of sobriety.
Yes, exactly. It's Americans Anonymous, restoring power to the people, one citizen at a time. Every citizen in America should be proud of this country and act like it, and take it back to where it was supposed to be going before it got stolen from all of us.
Because it's
Amen.
all that stands between abject horror and,
Yeah.
it. America's all there is.
And
Liberty.
it's the best.
It
and we
is the
have to start
best.
acting like it.
Woohoo!
Yes.
USA.
USA.
Thank you guys. That was so fucking
That
good.
was a great one.
Oh, you see.